What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy, the Ultimate Rage, coming back with yet another live here in the No Cap Zone, where we have a strict dress code. Now get the hell off with that capping ass motherfucking bullshit. The only kind of cap that we allow around these parts is your thinking cap. Otherwise, you gotta move the hell around. You gotta get the fuck away from me. I'm sorry to break it to you like that. Sorry if it seems super duper rude, but I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck away from me. Because around these parts, all we care about are the facts, the truth, the data, the information, the evidence, the statistics. You know, things that can actually be demonstrated in real life. You know, like in real time. You know, like while we're actually alive, while we're sane, while we're of sound mind, because otherwise I have no idea what the hell these goofies out here are talking about. And to tell you the truth, they don't even know what the hell they're talking about either, which is why we gotta talk about it. So let's talk about it, okay? So before we continue, as always, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on notifications, you know, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. Share every fucking where. Hit the website off9.com. Come through to the Discord where we're building a community of awesome ass people. Straight like that. So, let's just get to it, alright? So check it out. So as I always ask around this motherfucker, what exactly are we doing? As a human race, as Americans, as conscious beings, as earthlings, what exactly are we hoping to accomplish? What are our goals? What are our aims? What is it that we are hoping to achieve in the grand scheme of reality? Because see, the problem is we here in America have become what I call the scam capital, the capital of the world. The divided states of corporations, because the reality is, what do we unite over? What is it that we actually agree to? What issues, what principles can we all agree are worthy of standing on and purporting and valuing at the highest levels? We can't have any real conversations about this because the fact of the matter is that too many people around us are delusional as fuck. They subscribe to all kinds of ridiculous ideas and ideologies. They're completely divorced from the reality that we share and inhabit together. And as a result, it is difficult for us to get on the same page in regards to anything. Everything is so goddamn difficult. It is difficult for us to even have real discussions about any particular situation, any particular topic, because everybody gets so caught up in their emotions, their biases, their preconceived notions, instead of looking at the data, the facts, the information that is available, despite the fact that we live in what I thought was the information age. See, we have these things called, you know, mobile devices. We have cell phones. We got social media. We have all these different apps. We got the internet. All these things that should make it easier for us to be more nuanced, more accurate, more well-informed, considering any and every issue. Except we live in a time where people are rewarded for doing the opposite, for being as ignorant as could possibly be, for not knowing what the hell they're talking about, for making a bunch of bullshit-ass, baseless-ass declarations and not actually grounding these declarations in reality. So now we have become so dysfunctional as a society that we can't even agree on the most basic of things. I'm talking about me sitting here, people will debate that. People will debate the fact that I'm sitting here streaming with you because everybody wants to argue about something. People choose to be disagreeable for no good goddamn reason. And as a result, we have this state of chaos, this dysfunction that we experience, where on some of the most important metrics, we are at the very least substandard, to say the least. And it is absurd that in supposedly the greatest country in the world, that we're not exemplifying the supposed greatness, and people seem to be content with that. In fact, we can't even have real conversations about what greatness actually is, what greatness actually means. Because, see, I would think that greatness would mean, like, being awesome. that among your peers, you are among the top. In fact, the top. The number one. And if you're not number one, then you getting close to that motherfucker. You giving number one a run for their money. But see, it seems like here in America, we don't really care about those things. We don't really care about actually being functional, sensible, actually caring and valuing people's well-being, collectively, individually, any of that shit. We just don't care. We treat human life like it's nothing. Like there's no value. Like it's just a second thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, ho hum, if somebody dies, oh well, I guess that's just the way it is. Instead of actually valuing human life as the highest thing of all the things. Because see, here's the thing. One of the things that I talk about is how rare life itself is, just in general. Like, we get so caught up in the everyday rigmarole that we never stop to think about the fact that we have yet to contact any other kind of form of life. We have yet to detect any other form of life anywhere in the universe, despite the fact that we have all these telescopes and we have all this technology, GPS tracking, you know what I'm saying? We have all these, you know, data centers and all this money flowing through the economy and all that. We have yet to determine that there are others out in the universe, out there like us, dealing with these kinds of social, societal issues, dealing with these individual pressures and what have you. We have yet to actually discover that. And that's important because, as I always state, there are literally billions of galaxies in existence, possibly even trillions. Okay, it's endless, and then each galaxy hosts billions upon billions of stars, with each star hosting 1.6 planets per star, and who knows how many moons. And when you consider the absurd, literally astronomical mathematics of that, it doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever that we have yet to detect even one single alien civilization of any kind, any single alien form of life anywhere, despite these ridiculous astronomical numbers. Because all it takes is one single form of alien life to know that there are others out there like us out there. I mean, think about it. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's just keep things very simple mathematically. Let's just say there's a billion galaxies. It's just a cool 1 billion galaxies in the entire universe. And let's just say each galaxy hosts 1 billion stars. That's just a cool 1 billion stars per galaxy, right? So a billion times 1.6, right? Because each star has about 1.6 planets per star. Literally, if you figured out what that, a billion times 1.6, I don't know what that number is. It's a large ass number. But if you take 1% of that number, you're still talking about a large ass number. The point is that even if we're being super duper super conservative, and we said there was like 0.1% of galaxies have some kind of life, you're still talking about an extremely large, ridiculous number that's so large that we should theoretically, hypothetically, be able to detect such alien life at some point in time. That with our currently available technology, we should be able to look out into space and see something. The fact of the matter is that we don't see shit. We see things that look like maybe possibly they could perhaps be potential signs of intelligent alien life, right? But nothing has been literally clear-cut, concrete, smoking gun confirmed at all. We see a bunch of strange sightings, a bunch of strange low-quality videos of these weird orbs or some strange phenomena. They have yet to be confirmed to be clearly, unquestionably intelligent alien life. See, the problem that we have at this point in time in reality is that we have yet to fully understand the complete, total, and utter nature of our collective reality. We don't understand every aspect of the substrate of reality. We don't understand every single possible phenomenon that could occur. We have not mapped every single aspect of the universe as it is right now. We don't know a whole lot of stuff, even about our own planet. There's so many gaps in our knowledge. And we haven't even begun to even really truly begin to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. And yet, we live in a time where so many people don't really seem to care. Don't really seem to give a fuck. Aren't even the least bit interested. Couldn't be bothered with trying to see how deep the rabbit hole goes because they think they already figured it out. They truly believe they have all the answers. See, they think that because they joined this sci-fi fantasy fan club, that somehow that means that they're super duper highly intelligent, that they have the best ideas in the fucking world, that their view of reality is accurate, literal, true, honest, obvious, all that. So as a result, they go through life thinking that they know it all. They make up these ridiculous ideas. They come up with these cockamamie plans, and they end up making the world worse as a result of it. Which brings us to today. Which brings us to the state of affairs as they exist currently. Now, before I continue, let me state, for the record, in case you were wondering, I am a political leftist. I am a progressive leftist, whatever you want to call that. You want to say liberal, I don't really label myself as a liberal, but you can say that. But I am not a Democrat. As a matter of fact, I am anti-Democrat. I am completely, totally, and utterly against the Democratic Party because they are not democratic at all. In fact, it is my hypothesis that they are probably more evil than the Republicans. Because, see, here's the thing, right? Now, I always state all the time, the two-party false dichotomy, the Democrats and the Republicans, have failed miserably to help us create a well-functioning society for ourselves. It doesn't matter which of the two parties are in office, they don't seem to have our collective well-being as their primary focus, which is why they never do or even address half the things that we as people actually give a fuck about. Okay? Democrat, Republican, Republican, Democrat, Democrat, Republican, Republican, Democrat. They keep changing fucking regimes, but the outcome is still the same. Society is constantly worsening in every way, shape, and form. So, I have not been a fan. Well, let me take a step back. When I first got into politics back in 2009, shortly after I graduated, because I'm from here in Chicago, Southside Chicago, Chicago is a super duper, super Democrat stronghold. One of, if not the strongest Democrat community in the nation. Right? New York City, LA might rival us, right, in that regard, but like, you will be hard pressed to find Republicans around here. Okay? One of my friends, actually, shout out to the homie Purdy, in the Discord, showed me an article the other day about, somebody put up a flaming cross in Grant Park here in Chicago. I'm like, fam, that's nothing. That's literally a nothing burger. Ain't no KKK finna be roaming through the streets of Chicago thinking that they finna do shit. So, that's why I'm like, you can miss me with that story because that's nothing. It's probably some goofy trolling. You're not gonna see a large contingent of fucking KKK motherfuckers or any kind of Nazis roaming through the streets of Chicago thinking that that shit's gonna be sweet. Cause trust me, I can assure you it won't be. Okay, this is a city where we literally ran Trump out the motherfucking city the last time he was here. We forced him to get his shit, get the fuck out of here. Okay? Like, that's how super duper anti-Republican Chicago is. Like, they're like, nah, dude, get your weak ass the fuck on somewhere. So, so when I got into fucking politics, I was a Democrat by default. Because I'm a leftist, and the Democrats parade themselves, they sell themselves as the party of leftists, so I naturally fell into them. But then I realized that they were completely, totally, and utterly full of shit. That they are primarily focused on being bitch-ass simps for the rich, the banks, the corporations, and sometimes the churches as well. Well, not sometimes. The churches. And acting like they're doing it under the guise of leftism, that somehow this is going to help us as leftists in some form or fashion. They like to focus on small little wedge and identity politic issues, and then that makes it difficult for us as people to have real conversations about shit. Now, mind you, let me say this. Okay, I am diametrically opposed to the right wing. I'm diametrically opposed to Republicans, conservatives, all that shit. Think they're crazy. I'm an atheist and an anti-theist. They typically are the party of super duper super Christy Christians. Okay? A lot of times evangelical, but it doesn't matter. All that shit is crazy as fuck, retarded as hell, useless, baseless, senseless, illogical, and undemonstrable, unfalsifiable, undemonstrable. You can't falsify it, but you can't demonstrate it at all. I mean, a single second, a single shred of it. Not one single theist can demonstrate their theistic theological garbage. Not one time. So, but anyway. But at the same time, Democrats don't fare a whole lot better. And so I realized, especially during the 2016 election, that both major parties are full of fucking shit. They don't care about us. Their focus is not helping us improve the world, helping us improve the state of our nation, which is why no matter which of the two parties gets in the office, we're always dissatisfied with the shit that they do. We have never had a time where well, I guess you could say Obama, but not really though. I was going to say there's never been a time where a president was leaving office and people were happy. I mean, if you see these, hey, what's up, famo? What's good? What's good? Thank you for coming through, fam. Sorry if the stream looks like shit. It says here YouTube is not receiving my video all that well. So, I'm sorry if the stream is fucking choppy because I'm looking at it on my phone and it's stuck on one frame. So, I don't know what's going on. I got 3 bars on my Wi-Fi, but on my OBS is telling me error. YouTube is not receiving enough video. I don't know how that's even possible. Maybe I need to get a new Wi-Fi adapter or something. Maybe something with OBS. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but we're gonna keep it going anyway. But anyway, so like I said, I'm diametrically opposed to Republicans. I don't agree with Democrats. Both have failed us majorly. The 2016 election was the pivotal moment to me because, like, it demonstrated to me that people don't give a fuck about shit. The whole entire election from the primaries on down was a giant psyop that showed me that we as Americans cannot have any real discussion about shit. And this was further solidified in the last election when during the 2024 election, I personally experienced all kinds of censorship for talking about the election. Like, one of the things that I show all the time, and let me see if I can, well, I know I have it, but I want to show y'all this violation that I received on TikTok for literally just talking about the election, giving my opinion, right? I'm just a normal guy, right? I'm not a genius. I'm not a fucking super duper political expert. I just know a thing or two. And I'm very clear about that, open about that. I'm very honest about that. Like, I'm not a genius. I just know a thing or two and I show you the shit that I'm talking about, okay? So let me see if I can find this violation. Okay, so check this out. Check this. So I received this specific violation. I don't know if y'all can read that. Let me zoom in. So it says, your live is flagged for civic and election integrity. Repeat violations could result in your live being discontinued. So this is the type of shit that is as Orwellian as can possibly be. Because look, it's one thing if you say that I'm violating your rules. Okay, you got rules, I violate them. What I hate is when motherfuckers say I violate their rules, but they're not clear about what they mean by that. How exactly did I violate your rules? Because what does it mean by your live is flagged for civic and election integrity? What does that even mean? Because, see, one of the things that y'all might not be able to see, even though I'm zoomed in a bit, is like, if you look in the background of this image, as you can see, I have the internet open in the background. So I'm literally, if you can't tell, I'm looking at a Wikipedia. I'm looking at a Wikipedia entry about a specific topic, and I can explain to you what exactly I was talking about when this happened. So, oh shit, my Substack got shut down. That's weird. Huh. See, this is the type of shit I don't understand. Why does this happen? It's hard for me to not be conspiratorial about this, considering that shit like this happened to me. So I don't know why the fuck my Substack just shut down, but whatever. But the point is, look, so when this violation occurred, when I received this violation on TikTok, I was talking about the 2016 election. And to be specific, I was talking about how there was a weekend when they were having the, I do believe it was the Nevada primary, where there was all of this hoopla and controversy, right? Fucking, long story short, a lot of Bernie delegates weren't allowed to go into the venue to vote. The Democratic leader at the time, I forgot what her name was, but whoever was running that, because I think it was actually a caucus, it was supposed to be. There was the Nevada caucuses, I think. And so, long story short, the chick said, I think it might have been Barbara Boxer, I think it was, but she just like declared Hillary the winner. A bunch of Bernie supporters got angry. Alright, cool. Yeah, Substack was on some goofy shit, so thank you for letting me know, famo. Cause, yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this shit, but yeah, Substack. Maybe I just need to stop trying to stream Substack. I don't know, but we're gonna keep it going no matter what. But thank you for letting me know, fam. But yeah, so I'm talking about the 2016 primaries, the Nevada caucuses. There's all this fucking shit that happened. All the media that were covering it were alleging that Bernie supporters were throwing chairs. They would say that all throughout the media on so many different platforms. They would literally specify Bernie supporters were throwing chairs. They kept saying it and saying it and saying it, except that when you saw the video of the incident, it was literally one guy picked up a chair and put it down. Didn't even throw it. So it was just shitty ass reporting, right? There was no, like, actually that was inaccurate. A Bernie supporter picked up a chair and put it down. Didn't throw it at anybody. Nobody was attacked physically, right? People were very angry. justifiably so, but nobody threw a chair. That was just straight up wrong. That was inaccurate. That was literally a lie. Like, it was a lie. I mean, it's a quintessential, clear-cut, concrete lie. But at the same time, that same weekend, right, there was a Hillary supporter, a very famous Hillary supporter named, goddamn, what the fuck is this? I just forgot his name. Wendell Pierce. Wendell, I don't know how you pronounce it. Wendell Pierce, famous actor from The Wire and many other big movies and TV shows and everything. Great actor, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can say, even with the shit I'm about to say, I fucking think he's a great actor. The Wire is the greatest show ever. Right? He played Detective Bunk on that show. Very pivotal character on that show. Did a fantastic job. Like, as an actor, he is a... And if you don't know who I'm talking about, this is him. This is the guy. Great fucking actor. I think he does a great job. Like, there's nothing to say. Look, even mentions how he played Detective Bunk Moreland in the HBO drama series The Wire from 02 to 08, which is the greatest show in the history of the fucking world. Now, I ain't trying to hear shit from nobody. Don't at me. But see, here's the topic that I brought up. And here's the very Wikipedia article, right, that is in the background of this image where I received the violation. And there's an extremely important point about this that I'm going to bring up. So I mentioned in his personal life. Now get this. Now this is in his fucking Wikipedia. This is the section where I received that fucking violation. I don't know if you can see, but notice how at the top, I don't know if you can see it, but it says of President Barack Obama's right? And this is the section. Was one of President Barack Obama's top. This is the section. So check it out. It says right here, Pierce was a vocal supporter of Hillary Clinton and was on the board of Alliance for a Healthier Generation, a campaign created by the Clinton Foundation. He attended the 2012 Democratic National Convention, was one of President Barack Obama's top campaign fundraisers in 2012, and once escorted Gwen Ifill to a White House state dinner. Pierce announced the ceremonial delegate casting for Louisiana at the 2024 Democratic National Convention. But see, check this out right here, and this is where I received the violation. On May 15th, 2016, right, the same weekend as the Nevada caucus, Pierce was arrested and charged with simple battery for an alleged attack against a female Bernie Sanders supporter outside Atlanta Lowe's Hotel. He was booked and released on $1,000 bond from Fulton County Jail. Pierce subsequently completed the pretrial diversion program, including counseling and community service, resulting in dismissal of the charge. Now, see, here's the thing. I didn't make this shit up. Oh, and if you don't want to believe me, right? If you're one of those people, oh, you're gonna use like a report from article from Wikipedia. You know anybody can edit those. Oh, I fucking hate when people say that shit. First of all, that's the stupidest argument ever, because the whole point is that being able to edit something means you can keep it up to date. But see, another important part is that there's this thing called a log. So literally every single change is logged. So if somebody makes a change that is inaccurate, that change can be flagged and can be corrected. Whereas if somebody writes an inaccurate article, it's just an inaccurate article. So unless they edit it later or they redact it or whatever, right, it's inaccurate. So anyway, so what I like to do is I like to use the mainstream media's fucking reporting so that nobody can say that I just made this fucking shit up. So here's an article from CBS News covering the fucking topic, okay? Saying basically all the shit. Look, this guy's fucking mugshot, photo. And it talks about how TMZ reported that Pierce allegedly physically assaulted a woman who was a Bernie Sanders supporter, okay? So, hear me out. Now, I'm a political leftist, but I'm also a fucking man. Okay? And as a man, unless a woman is threatening my life, threatening the life of a child, what reason is there to put hands on any woman as a man? For what? And you did it over politics? That's some bitch ass shit. I don't care what anybody has to say. You a bitch. Dude, Wendell Pierce, you're a fucking great actor. But that was some bitch ass shit. It says right here. TMZ reported that sources at the hotel said the actor had a conversation with the woman and her boyfriend at the hotel around 3 a.m. Pierce allegedly became upset when the woman said she was a Sanders supporter. According to TMZ, Pierce allegedly pushed the boyfriend and then went after the girlfriend. What the hell kind of bitch ass shit is that? That is the bitchest move I ever heard in my life. Fam, if I attacked every single person I disagree with on politics, I'd be fighting with them. I'd be fighting my mama right now. I'd be fighting my mama, my sister, my brother, everybody in my fucking life, everybody on my block. All these motherfuckers support the Democratic Party. But I'm not... See, I have this thing called a brain. I have this thing called communication capabilities. I can explain why Democrats are full of shit. Shit like this is exactly why. This is an actual incident that occurred in real life. This occurred. CBS News felt the need to actually cover this story because it is an event that occurred. It's the only time probably in his life, as far as we know, right? Because, you know, not everything's public. But probably one of the only times, if not the only time in his life where he got arrested. Right? And he got arrested for assaulting a female Bernie supporter for being a female. Now, the reason I bring this up is because Democrats love to play the fucking gender card, the race card, the political identity card, the minority card, whatever fucking identity politic card that they like, they gonna play that shit. If it has something to do with the LGBTQIA community, if it has something to do with women, black women, fucking whatever, they love to highlight this shit. That is until they fucking don't. Right? When it makes them look bad, then they ain't talking none of that fucking fighting for women shit. They buried the living shit out of this story. And this is one of the things I try to tell y'all about when it comes to the media and how they're disingenuous and how they're so fucking subtle about shit. The media, mainstream media like CBS News, NBC News, ABC News, all these super duper multi-billion-dollar corporations, they will do their due diligence and cover an important story. But they give significantly less weight to certain stories than other stories, if you're catching my drift. So even though, yes, they covered this story, right? This is CBS News. It's on their main website, still there, as I just showed you. Yet, how much did they push this story? How much was this story being talked about on other networks? Was this story on their main page? Because, see, one of the things that I've showed y'all is that a company like CBS News, they'll cover a story like this and bury it to where you can't even find it, even though they covered it. But it's not on their main page, it's not on the front page. You can't find anything about it. And a lot of these mainstream companies do that a lot. Where, oh yeah, they definitely have an article about this. So-and-so and such and such wrote an article about this for CBS News or ABC News or whoever. But unless you were looking for this story, unless you knew of this story, you probably won't find this story on their platform, even though they covered it. That's one of the things media does. But see, another aspect of what they do is what I just showed you with this censorship shit. This Orwellian dystopian ass fucking shit that they do. So they said that my live was flagged for civic and election integrity for what I literally just did right now. The exact same shit. Talked about the topic, showed you the article, showed you the wiki. I did exactly the same thing in this fucking photo that I'm doing right now today with y'all. Talked about a topic, mentioned it, but then showed you the wiki and an official mainstream news article that talks about this issue. You can't say I made it up. You can't say, oh, well, I didn't get a good enough source, because if CBS News is not a good source, then what is? Then what the fuck is? But see, why did I get this violation? What does this violation actually mean when it says your live is flagged for civic and election integrity? I'll tell you what the violation was. That it didn't bode well for the fucking bitch-ass Democrats. It makes them look like shit. Because there's no answer for this. There's no justification for a man to attack a woman, but then for a black man to attack a woman, but then for a famous black man to attack a woman, and for a famous black man who's part of the Democratic Party to attack a woman for being a Bernie Sanders supporter. Yeah, that doesn't test well. That doesn't go well. What up, sir? What up? Yeah, it doesn't it doesn't, you know, it's not great public relations, it's not great for media relations, so they gotta soften that shit. But what does it mean that my live was flagged? What are they flagging it for? If this happened, it happened. Look, everybody makes mistakes. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent or whatever or whatever or whatever or whatever. Nobody's fucking perfect. Nobody's saying that any and everybody should be perfect. But you shouldn't be a fucking hypocrite. You shouldn't be going on every platform talking about it's her turn and all these people are Bernie bros and Bernie bros are such fucking sexist, and one of your chief fucking major public supporters, right? And probably a funder too, he probably helps bring in some dough, right? Is attacking women while you're talking about how your candidate is this woman and it's her turn. That's kind of hypocritical. You can't be saying Bernie bros are such fucking sexists and we hated fucking all these women, but at the same time, one of you is attacking a woman. That's disgusting as fuck. That makes absolutely no sense. But these are the kinds of things that happen. And so, on another live, I was talking about how during the 2024 election, that Kamala Harris had no chance against Trump. And see, the irony about me talking about that is like, this was like maybe in August of that year. So, it's like, on one hand, you can say, oh, I'm being a hater, even though I thought I was being pretty fair and logical, right? But it's like, I took it as, if you really actually wanted to win, like for real, then you would listen to what I say and maybe use that to improve your strategy, because there's still time. But because I know how the Democratic Party works, I know that they're not gonna fucking listen to me. Even though, oh, they're not gonna listen to me, but they're flagging me. They're flagging me for civic and election integrity. So somebody's listening to something. And the reason why I mentioned that too is because that day that I talked about that, I was starting to get a lot of views. A lot of views. For somebody that only has like 1,000 or so followers at the time, I had maybe like 1,000, 1,500, maybe. But I was getting a lot of views. Like thousands upon thousands of views. It was one of my most viewed lives. I did 2 back to back, that day and the next day. So the first day, I talked about why Kamala would lose. I talked about how she didn't have great policies. She wasn't running a great campaign. She's not a great orator. You know, she doesn't have a great history. Nobody's gonna be like, oh my God, that landmark case that she did was so, oh my God, unbelievable. And just for the record, on top of it, she's not that fine. She ain't got no big old butt. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing special about her that will make her significantly superior to Trump. So it's like, the things that you can control, you should be able to control. If I think you're not running a good enough campaign, well, maybe you should step your fucking game up. It doesn't make any fucking excuse for somebody who was, at the time, the incumbent vice president, the first ever black and Asian, mixed race, and woman vice president ever in the history of the country, ever. And people literally tried to say that she lost because of bigotry or some shit. Oh, do you not understand that do you not understand the racism and the... Shut your stupid ass the fuck... Oh yeah, the first ever black and Asian vice president lost an election because of racism. Yeah, that totally makes fucking sense. Totally, the incumbent vice president, not the aspiring vice president. No, the actual, like, at the time, the current vice president, who didn't have to even primary to get the nomination. She didn't have to challenge anybody. She didn't have to go against anybody. She got a free lane to the nomination. There's no reason you should be getting your fucking ass kicked if you got the whole entire party behind you. If you got the whole entire fucking population of leftists ready to roll with you. There's no way that you should lose that handedly. You have to really do a shitty job to lose to a goofy like Trump, who already just lost to your fucking current president at the time, right? Your superior at the time. All you gotta do is do what he did. Or shore up the problems that you got to ensure that you're running a great fucking campaign so you can actually be competitive. You're not gonna sell people on, well, I'm not Trump. Some people that might work for, but for a general election, that's not good enough. You gotta come with something, right? Especially somebody like me. If you think you're gonna get somebody like me with you're not Trump, you're a fucking tard. Straight like that. You're retarded as fuck. Because somebody like me, I wasn't gonna support Trump anyway. I don't vote Republican. I don't care how much I can't stand a Democrat. I will never ever vote Republican because they're fucking crazy and stupid and out of their fucking minds retarded. Straight like that. I would never ever vote for any of them. But just because of that doesn't mean I'm gonna vote for your ass. Right? And plus, I live in Chicago. My vote doesn't matter. If I don't vote Democrat, my vote don't matter. So most of the time, my vote don't matter because I don't vote Democrat. I'm always going to vote third party because fuck you bitch-ass Democrats. Y'all suck. As a Chicagoan in the city filled to the brim with Democrats, Democrats have done a shitty fucking job helping us create a well-functioning society for ourselves. In a city like Chicago, where you don't have to even think about a Republican winning nothing around this motherfucker. Democrats have done a shitty-ass job. Here in Chicago, the fact that we are unaffectionately referred to as Chirac, because we have more murders here than in an active war zone where America declared war and was actively dropping fucking bombs. How is it that we don't have none of that artillery? We don't have fucking tanks. We don't have RPGs, even though Rado number 9 appeared to apparently have an RPG in the photo I seen. That's kind of strange, but whatever. How is a city with Americans having even a remotely close crime rate that not only is comparable to a literal active war zone, but that is literally exceeding the death toll of an active war zone? That is insanity. So this is one of the reasons why, when it comes to talking politics, I don't want to hear what anybody else say. Anybody who supports either side, I don't want to hear what you have to fucking say. Because you are directly responsible for how this shit came to be in the first place. Yeah, exactly, Silk. Like, you know, it's shit like that like, was really, really bad PR. Like, you know, and For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, so the homie Silk mentioned how so there's this video that got that went around, right? I shared it on my IG. It might still be on there, where at the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago back in 2024, there was a small media company that was just going around interviewing people at the DNC, at the National Convention, and obviously they're all Democrat lovers and supporters. So, long story short, they interview these people and they ask them, what's your favorite Kamala policy? And all but one person couldn't say shit. Didn't know what the fuck they were supporting. They couldn't name one thing that she stood for. Not one single thing. These are people who characterize themselves as super duper political wonks. I mean, they're literally at the Democratic National Convention. To even go to some shit like that, you gotta be kind of sort of interested in politics, right? But this is the problem. People think that by going to shit like that, that makes you like some super political wonk, and it doesn't, right? I've been to a Democratic National Convention before, right? Back in 2016 in Philly. And there's video of me there. In fact, at the time, I not only was I there, I performed a song. And I performed a song called Burn Your Bus. And there's a part of the song, in fact, I think it's at the start of it, where I talk about this bill at the time that was like super Orwellian and shit. It was all kinds of crazy shit. I forgot what the name of it is. You can check it out on YouTube. There's plenty of footage of it. I have a goddamn you can check it out, the song out on my SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/theultimaterage. But long story short, it's like people who follow politics don't know what the hell they're talking about. I have no respect for almost anybody who even thinks about talking about politics. I don't even care what the fuck people are talking about, because people are too biased, they're willfully ignorant, and at the end of the day, they demonstrate they don't actually really care about the truth, the facts, the data, the information, the statistics, none of that, because of cognitive dissonance. If it doesn't make their party look good, if it doesn't make their side look good, then they don't want to hear it. Even if it's accurate, true, documented, all that type of shit. So, and I know a lot of y'all might be like, damn, you just went damn near an hour and didn't even mention the topic that this live is even about. But don't worry, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, because the point I'm trying to make is that Democrats tout themselves as the smartest, the most intelligent, the fucking most well-informed, the most logical and reasonable, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Because the people I've dealt with and the people I see online, in media, in real life, like, they're full of shit. And that's how we got to this point where somebody like Trump could even come close to being viable, let alone winning twice against you fucking supposedly well-informed goofies. The mere fact that 2 times these fuckers lost to grab him by the pussy and they're reading the dogs, the fact that this party lost to them, to this dude twice, should be an utter embarrassment to their fucking party. That they lost to that, thinking that they were so smart, thinking that they were just oh so clever. They really thought that grabbing by the pussy was gonna fucking bury Trump's campaign. You dumbass fucking fools. It just goes to show you how out of touch these Democrats have become, and probably have been this whole entire time, which is why you've never seen Democrats succeed Democrats in terms of like, oh, Obama left it off to fucking Hillary, left it off to Biden, left it off to... You don't see successive Democrat regimes. Why? Because they don't really do that good of a job. Because they don't really know what the fuck they're doing. Other than being bitch-ass simps for the rich, the banks, the corporations, and the churches. That's it. That's what they primarily focus themselves on. So that's why when I see all of these Democrats that have all these complaints about Trump, and the things that he does, I remind them of their own history. I remind them of shit like this fucking story to show them why they're such hypocrites. Because this is something that happened. And see, these fucking bitch-ass Democrats, they don't be anticipating that somebody like me is going to come around and be like, oh no, I remember. Here, let me show y'all. Right? That's why on TikTok, at the end, when I finally end up dropping off of TikTok, they would hit me every single day with, yeah, misinformation. They just basically said I was lying all day, even though I'm showing you the shit that I'm talking about. I don't make shit up. Okay? When we do these lives, we do this shit together. Half the shit that I show y'all, I didn't even know, or I didn't even see. You know? So, like, this article I'm about to show y'all is an article I just found because it's one of the top news stories. I haven't read it yet, so we're gonna read it together. So this is the topic of the day, right? This is the title of the live. Trump alters history. Okay, so here we go. This is by CBS News. Obviously, note the time, June 13th, 2026, 11:19 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is 10:19 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Trump's changes to history at national parks must be undone, judge rules. President Trump's effort to rewrite the past at the country's museums, parks, and landmarks was struck down on Friday, with the federal judge calling for the administration to restore changes already made at locations nationwide. The preliminary injunction issued by U.S. District Judge Angel Kelly in Massachusetts also orders a pause on any additional changes, writing that the plaintiffs have shown these efforts are meant to rewrite the nation's history with the white-out pen. Under the guise of promoting American dignity, this administration seeks to share a limited history by ordering the removal of all signs, displays, and interpretive exhibits at national parks that do not align with this preferred narrative, thereby telling half-truths, Kelly wrote. The Trump administration issued an executive order entitled Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History in March 2025, ordering national parks to not display elements that inappropriately disparage Americans past or living. Okay. This is the type of shit that of course I have a party with. I mean, that of course I have a problem with. Now I don't have a party with the shit I have a problem with. Because one of my biggest pet peeves is when people try to gaslight me. When people try to fuck with my brain and act like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Act like I don't remember the history of reality. Like, events that clearly occurred didn't occur, that events that didn't occur did occur. And they want to talk so fucking hard, like, oh, this shit is so fucking amazing and wonderful, and I need to subscribe. And all, shut the fuck up. What the hell are y'all talking about? I have no clue what the fuck you goofies are mentioning, what the hell y'all are saying. And I can't stand it. That these fools that get in the office and they want to fucking fuck with your mind and act like you don't know what you're talking about, and they want to remove signs from history for disparaging Americans of the past, even though people like him have no problem disparaging Americans from the past. Hell, disparaging Americans right now. And we all know what it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, let's get back to it. So, however, Kelly countered that Trump's order was just an excuse to erase the true history of the United States. History cannot be faithfully told while excluding the experiences of communities whose contributions, struggles, and achievements form an important part of our nation's history, Kelly wrote. The Trump administration must also provide a status report every week describing the progress they have made with these changes, the judge wrote. The administration has 21 days to restore and reinstall all interpretive materials at park sites managed by the NPS that, pursuant to the Secretary's order, have been altered, removed, or damaged in the process of such removal since May 20th, 2025, according to the order. The order comes in response to a February lawsuit filed by conservation and historical organizations over National Park Service policies that the groups say have forced Park Service staff to remove or censor dozens of exhibits that share factually accurate and relevant U.S. history and scientific knowledge, including about slavery and climate change. And there you have it. There you have it. That was the single most important paragraph in this whole fucking shit. That, of course, it always comes down to politics, and it always comes down to reality. See, one of the issues that we have with a bunch of these conservative asshats is that they want to pretend slavery didn't happen, or that wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't that bad. Or, oh, I didn't have anything to do with that. But they always demonstrate that they still carry the racist fucking mentality that fueled slavery in the first place. Which is why black people in America have not been given reparations despite the fucking bullshit we went through for 400 plus fucking years. Right? Oh, they could give reparations to all these other marginal groups, but not us. Okay? And instead of actually being like, hey, we're going to at least acknowledge that we fucked up. No, they want to erase the history. And then, of course, climate change, right? Climate change is obvious fucking, an obvious reality that we experience on a constant basis. We have the data. We have all these fucking scientific reports, scientific experiments, research, data showing not only is this real, but it's a major fucking problem. But see, people like the President Trump, they're in the pocket of big oil. So it is not in their financial best interest to acknowledge climate change, which is why they play these fucking games. And that's, you know, whether you know, it just so happens that he also subscribes to a sci-fi fantasy ideology that's completely divorced from reality. These are the type of issues that we have to deal with when we deal with presidents, politicians, lawmakers, wealthy individuals who are completely divorced from reality, but are also corrupt as fuck and in the pocket of big business, right? These individuals that don't prioritize our collective health and wellness, which is why our collective health and wellness is never a real part of the conversation. At best, they're talking points, right? They're talking points that these goofies use. They'll say a bunch of couple buzzwords, right? They'll say something about American freedom and fucking something about like American integrity or some shit. National security. Definitely gonna say something about national security. They're just not gonna talk about how they're actually gonna secure the nation in any tangible, meaningful way, right? So while we're bombing motherfuckers overseas, strangely enough, we got all these fucking scientists coming up missing or even dead. And they've been keeping that on the fucking hush. But see, here's another story from today that is adjacent to the story we just covered. Kennedy Center official tells Kennedy Center official tells judge Trump's name has been removed from building and website. A federal judge ruled that President Donald Trump's hand-picked board at the Kennedy Center did not have the authority to rename the venue. So check it out. You see all this Trump-ass garbage in this fucking shit. Note the time. That's today, 9:18 a.m. Central Time, by Kyla Guilfoyle and Dare Gregorian. So check it out. A Kennedy Center official told a federal judge Saturday that all references to President Donald Trump inside, outside, and online have been removed from the Kennedy Center in compliance with the court's extended order requiring their removal by noon. Construction workers began removing Trump's name from the building's facade early Saturday morning, 6 months after a board handpicked by the president vetoed to rebrand the iconic performing arts venue by adding his name to it. Crews removed lettering on the building, adding in December that inserted Trump's name before the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Several dozen attendees gathered and cheered on the workers who prepared to take the president's name off the building. federal judge ruled last month that Trump's name must be removed by June 12th, writing that the Center's board did not have the authority to unilaterally rename the building. Congress gave the Kennedy Center its name, and only Congress can change it, U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper wrote on May 29th. See, this is the type of shit that I have a major problem with. So here's my thing. So, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump supporter. I am diametrically opposed to conservatives, Republicans, all that fucking shit. Every now and then they might state a fact that I agree with, right? Because I only care about truth. But for the most part, I think they're crazy because they don't appear to value truth. Which is why I find it ironic that Trump created the platform called Truth Social, and it's the biggest cat fucking central I've ever seen in my fucking life. Right? Like, you're such a great guy and an amazing president. Why do you need to create your own platform? Right? Like, I don't see you getting shut down like that. You're the fucking president. I mean, okay, sure. People didn't like it when you went to the NBA Finals. I get it. Motherfuckers don't like your ass. But see, the problem I have is I don't like talking about this dude. I really, really, really try my hardest not to talk about this guy. Because to me, I feel like everybody talking about this dude is what helped make him so fucking popular to begin with. If people just didn't give so much fuel to these charlatans, perhaps they wouldn't get so fucking popular. When I see these charlatans out here, I don't give them no time. I hit the not interested, the block, the thumb down, whatever. I don't want to see none of that shit. I know that I'm not going to get into the comments and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I know that I'm not going to fucking call up on their stream and then try to have a reasonable conversation with them, because that's not what crazy people deal with. That's not what charlatans are willing to do. They don't care about facts, data, information, truth. That's why they purport the bullshit that they do, because they love to misinform people, which is why I do what I do to challenge all of them. Anybody could come to me and purport whatever the fuck they want, but you gotta show me. I don't do the back and forth. I'm not trying to get into debates with anybody. I tell people all the time, I don't do debates. I do demonstrate. Whatever it is that you're talking about, show me that shit right now. And if you can't, shut your stupid ass the fuck up before I slap the shit out your dumb ass. The hell is wrong with you? Coming at me, talking to me, thinking that, oh, because you said it really passionately, that somehow that's supposed to convince me of anything. The fuck out of my face with that stupid ass shit. If what you are saying is the truth, all you gotta do is show me. The same way I show y'all shit, you should be able to show me the shit that you talked about. I don't make shit up. I don't have a need or reason to make shit up. I got the internet. Do you know how easy it is to type in some shit and open it? You know how easy it is to open up Google News and pull up an article from today? This don't take no fucking time. That's why I don't need a giant fucking production team to help me do all this fucking shit. I got a fucking mouse, fam. Like, what the fuck is hard about that? But people are so fucking retarded, they don't even know how to do that. They don't know how to use shit. So, that's why I do it, so you don't have to. That's why I show you the shit that I'm talking about. I show you the article, I show you the source, the author, the date, the time, all that shit. We read directly from the article. So I show y'all what I am saying is not no made up shit. I didn't fucking assert it. I didn't purport it. We're reading what is said here. If you have an issue with anything said in this article, take it up with the fucker that wrote the shit. Or the fuckers that wrote the shit. I'm just a messenger. I'm just reporting their reporting and going over it. Exactly. I mean, history is ugly. As the old adage goes, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. If we don't want a Holocaust to happen again, kind of helps talk about it. Talk about how horrible it was, how evil it was, how terrible it was, how of an absurd loss of life it was. How this group got targeted for no good goddamn reason because they were a different race. That is the most retarded shit I ever heard in my fucking life. So, that is why, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because it makes me have to bring up this important, and I think it's one of the most important points that people need to know. that people like Mustache Man, we'll call it, right? When they espouse the absurd, crazy shit that they espouse, when they believe this absurdity, this extreme craziness, it is important as fuck to challenge that shit, nip it in the bud right away. I don't give a fuck. Because that's how that shit happens. All these loonies out here, they hear that shit, they love that shit, they think that shit is the dopest, greatest shit in the fucking world. All it takes is somebody like me to say, what the fuck is the point of that shit? Why is that good? Oh, this group of people is the problem. This group of people is the reason why your stupid ass is broke. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. These people never took the time to think, hey, that doesn't make any fucking sense. If these people were really doing this shit, why the fuck are they broke? Anne Frank wasn't balling. She wasn't rocking Gucci and Fendi and Prada and all that shit. So what the fuck are you tards talking about? And that's exactly it. It's just a bunch of tar talk. A bunch of tar talk. So that's why when theists, when people who claim to be super into politics, when partisan ass hats want to come at me saying their tard ass shit, I force them to demonstrate what the hell they are talking about. If they can't show me that what they're saying is rooted in reality, then they got to get the hell out of my goddamn face, and I don't care. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. You know what? Good. I'm super duper happy I hurt your feelings. Maybe it'll wake your stupid ass the fuck up, and maybe you'll recognize reality for what it is instead of what you are hoping and wishing it to be. I don't give a fuck if you want to believe some dumbass, crazy ass bullshit. It might make sense to you, but unless you can demonstrate it in real life to me right now, you are bullshitting me, and I do not respect that, and I will be very highly disrespectful to you about it. I will be extremely and excessively rude about it, because somebody needs to put your stupid ass in your dumbass place. Who the fuck are you to sit here and tell me I need to subscribe to some dumbass bullshit that you can't demonstrate to me right now? I ask you a simple ass dumbass question about your dumbass shit, and you can't even give me a real straight answer that you can demonstrate to me right now. And then you want to get mad. You want to get mad because I didn't just accept your bullshit at face value. You thought that because you said it so passionately that I was supposed to emotionally accept your fucking dumbass bullshit. No! That's not how reality works, fam. And that's definitely not how I work. I don't give a fuck about that emotion shit. You can pout, you can cry, you can scream, you can threaten, all that dumbass bullshit. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. You're not moving me with that shit. And if you want to go the threats way, a Chicago nigga from the South Side is not the person you trying to send threats to. Especially considering where I stay. A neighborhood called Killer Ward. I like to give you a couple of guesses as to how we got our fucking name. In Chirac. So, I'm not moved by your emotional appeals. That's a fallacy. That's called appeal to emotions fallacy. I'm not going to sit here and listen to your sob story and think, well, I guess I should believe your crazy shit because the sad shit happened to you. Look, I'm a very empathetic person. That's really sad that whatever happened to you, but that doesn't mean that this crazy ass bullshit that you're espousing is the truth. I don't care. I could really feel for you as a human being and still tell you you're full of shit. I don't do the shit out of hate. I do the shit out of love. Because, again, what are we doing? What are our goals? What are our aims? One of the issues that we have as a society that we are in the midst of a mental health and substance abuse crisis. It is, I cannot stress enough how much of a crisis it actually is. But just think about it like this. Homelessness is on the rise. Our ranking on the Global Peace Index is falling. Right? We reached a new low. I just found this out yesterday. We reached a whole new low. Right? We were at 128 for all this time. Out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index. And now we're 134. We're number 134. Close to the fucking bottom. And people don't seem to give a fuck. People seem to be happy about that. People keep touting our supposed greatness. They actually think that that is great. They're like, yo, no, that is amazing. That is the greatest shit ever. And I just can't comprehend how people are literally like convinced by that. How they're like, yeah, no, that's actually like what it is. We're fucking great as fuck. Yeah, we suck ass. That's great. It's so fantastic how much we suck. Isn't it wonderful that we're just such miserable fucking failures? And yet, this president is focused on changing the name of a building to his. A building that was named after one of his predecessors. He's like, yeah, nah, fuck that guy. It's all about me. Even though he already got his own buildings everywhere. Here in Chicago, we got a Trump Tower. That ain't enough for your goofy ass? What kind of megalomaniacal ass shit is that? That you are so focused on dumb shit like putting your name on the side of a fucking building instead of actually improving the lives of your, your supposed representatives, the people that you supposedly care about, the people whose fucking, whose jobs it was. I thought it was your job. I thought it was your job to help these people improve their lives. Is that not what the president's supposed to do? If not, then what the fuck do you do? What exactly do you do? What is it that you provide to our society that's so fucking great that we're like, wow, this guy is doing such a wonderful and amazing job? Because I'm still at a loss. This is why I have a major problem with the Democrats. Because it is my humble opinion that they're the reason why the United States ranks 134 out of 163. They are a primary reason. Because when I was a Democrat, one of the things I used to always think to myself is, and mind you, this is as I'm a Democrat. I'm like, if we're such smart people and they're just so fucking dumb and retarded, then why do we lose elections at all? How is it even possible that I could lose to a fucking idiot? How is it possible that we could lose to such morons? They're so dumb, right? And we're so smart. How can we? And then I realized why. Because the Democratic Party is full of shit. Because they don't push actual leftist ideas. They don't push for leftist policies. At best, they're milquetoast as fuck. At worst, they're righter than the right wing. They're just as right wing as the right wing. They are the right wing. They're actually right wing as fuck. When have you ever seen a Democrat push for free healthcare? And I'm talking about not some random guy in fucking Austin, Texas. I'm talking about a major political figure that was in a high leverage position, right? Like a very high position of politics, right? I'm talking about the elites. I'm not talking about Bernie Sanders. I'm talking about the elites. Because, see, the game that these bitch-ass Democrats play is they find a patsy like a Bernie who champions all the leftist ideas and use them as a patsy to pull in all the leftist voters, people like me, people who care about leftist ideals and policies. And then they sabotage the fuck out of this candidate so that we ultimately only have the elitist candidate like Hillary Clinton to support. A candidate who ain't talked about none of the shit that I give a fuck about. Who has not given the slightest indication that what she cares about is anything close to what I care about. And then bitch-ass Democrats want to complain. They want to complain when a goofy like her loses, when a goofy like Kamala loses to a goofy, an even goofier goofy like Trump. Because these hoe ass motherfuckers think that they're so smart. They think that they're so clever. They think that, oh, people will totally not just fucking vote for grab him by the pussy. And they voted for him twice. Here we are. Maybe if Democrats, I don't know, actually champion policies that we care about, actually push for things that we want, who knows? Maybe people might actually support you. I don't know. Maybe it's a crazy idea. Maybe I'm just out of my fucking mind. But I swear, it is a winning formula. That the things that people are mostly aligned on, those are the things that you should probably champion. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, right? I'm not a genius. I'm not super duper intelligent. I'm just some fucking black dude on the south side of Chicago. What the fuck would I know? I would just think that, hey, if people like something, you should probably give them the things that they like. Especially if it's something that's going to help improve their lives. Like something that's going to help make their lives better. Yeah, you should probably push for that shit. And if you always did that, you're probably not going to lose elections. Like, at all. Like, you would probably win, like, all the time. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm just, trying to make sense of things. But see, this is exactly the shit that we have to deal with as a society. Like, we get so caught up in the partisan bullshit, the Democrat versus Republican garbage, that we don't talk about the things that actually matter. The actual policies, the actual direction that we're trying to go to as a country, right? And we definitely don't be talking about this motherfucker. Never talk about this thing called the Constitution at all. We never talk about that shit. Look, let me take that back. People talk about it. They mention it. They'll say something like, the Constitution, we need to preserve the Constitution. But they violate this motherfucker all the time. Because one of the things that they never do is actually read it. They never actually look at it and see what's actually in there, what it actually says. And even these bitch-ass hoes in the fucking Congress and the White House and the Supreme Court, they don't be knowing what the fuck this shit is or what the fuck they be talking about. They violate the shit all the fucking time. They twist the words around so that it doesn't mean what it clearly says, to the point where we have this substandard society, the suboptimal society, where, as I stated before, we rank 134 out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index. This is a goddamn shame, and it should be a fucking crisis, low-key. Because how did we reach this point? How did we reach this point where we're so low, but we're the greatest country in the fucking world? Why is it that I'm telling the truth and they're shutting me down, but liars like Charlie Kirk got carte blanche, free promotion all the time? Despite the fact that he literally died being proven wrong. That he was completely full of shit the whole entire time. Like, I say this all the time. I don't support violence at all. Violence should be a last resort. It is my humble opinion that if you have great ideas, if you believe you truly have the truth, you shouldn't need to lift a finger. Because the truth is so true that you don't need to fight anybody. You don't need to fight somebody to tell the truth. Think about the fact that I get people's feathers ruffled so fucking hard because they can't demonstrate the fucking bullshit that they claim all the fucking time. All I do is say, show me that shit that you talking about. The shit that you were just talking about. Whatever it is. That sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. That fucking super duper you care about the people shit that you was just talking. Whatever it is. Show me that shit right now. And then I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got nothing to say. But the mere fact that these goofy ass loonies don't know what the fuck they're talking about, not one time can they demonstrate any shred of what they're talking about, it's no surprise that we're just falling and falling and falling and falling and falling on the Global Peace Index. And we don't have real conversations as to why. And the reality is, there's no clear focus. When these goofies are campaigning for office, they're just full of shit. Like, think about this. Me being on TikTok, I was building my fucking following so fast, so quickly, that the powers that be had to shut me down. They had to play these fucking games where they're hitting me with violation after violation of any and every kind that you can think of, just for showing y'all the shit that I just showed y'all. The same shit I was literally just showing y'all, I was doing on TikTok. We went from growing at an exponential rate, getting 20 to 100 followers every live we would do, to we getting suspended for 7 days at a time, every time. 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. Half the time, we might fucking get an appeal, but every time that we got suspended, they would hit us with a strike. And they would never remove the strike, even on a successful appeal, so the strikes would just mount up. And then one of the things, and this is something that's crazy, and you know, I want to take some time to talk about this real quick. I mean it when we're a corporatocracy, because we've reached a point now where you can't even reach a person at any corporation. You can only talk to their fucking bitch ass AI, and if their AI is on some bullshit, you're fucked. You can't do nothing. There's no number to call. There's no person that you can reach. You can't call the number and be like, I want a person. Ain't no number. I had an issue on Facebook about a month ago where I didn't even know I had a restriction on my account until I tried to create a app, right, that allowed me to post my clips automatically on Facebook. I tried to send myself a confirmation code to my cell phone, and it wouldn't send me a confirmation code. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so it showed a thing like, oh, you know, any issues, click here, or something like that. So I click it, and it's like, oh, talk to the AI. So I'm talking to their bullshit ass AI. I don't even know what it's called, Boris or some dumb shit. And it's like, yeah, I can see on our side that you have a restriction against your account from like last week. I'm like, a restriction for what? Yeah, they said that you were spamming. Yeah, spamming. I'm like, spamming? What did they talk? But I know what they did. I know why they did it. And I can tell you exactly why they did it. Because the only thing I could think of that they could even possibly hit me for is that I had a previous live. It might actually still be on my YouTube, where I talked about how while I was live, I had a classmate comment on, well, actually not comment, make a post on Facebook that says something about, yeah, so can we like do away with this both sides crap? Something like that. And so I commented, no, both sides. They're full of shit. And so he responded with all the shit lib ass shit that shit libs say. All of the, oh no, the Republicans are so much worse. Look at what Trump is doing. All this type of shit. And you know me. Or if you don't know me. I was like, well, what about the shit that Democrats have done that have been egregious? And of course, they always hit you with whataboutism. See? That's that whataboutism. And it's a tactic that they use to try to obfuscate the fact that they're full of shit. And that they're just as fucking guilty and egregious as the people that they love to lambaste all the time. Like, as an example, let me show y'all this post. For those of you who fuck with me, you've seen this before. Because this happened to me on Reddit. So, check this out. So I was on Reddit, and as you can see, as I've stated, I'm an atheist and an anti-theist. I don't believe in the Jesus, and I am against any and all claims and ideologies that claim such, that state such, that assert and purport such fucking bullshit. So, but as you can see, I was on the R Atheism subreddit, and even though I'm an atheist, I was permanently banned with the quickness. And so here's the note from the moderators, and here's the comment that I said. But before I read the comment, let me give the quick background. Long story short, there was a post about some Republican that got caught up being the fucking underage predator. So, of course, all these shit lib ass people like, aha, see, that's what they do. Aha, they get caught all the time. Aha, that's what they get. Aha, they're so weird. You know, the same bullshit that typical shit libs always say. So, I reply, okay, yeah, but for every Republican grooming children, I can find a Democrat having done the same thing. For every Republican convicted of fraud, I can find a Democrat too. We're not going to play this, oh well, one party is definitely worse bullshit because you just be cherry picking. I can name actual names too, like Anthony Weiner, Elliot Spitzer, Mel Reynolds, Louis Conrad Jr., Rod Blagojevich, Otto Kerner Jr., George Ryan, just to name a few. These were all Dems and all are despicable. And they hit me with the ban hammer. I mean, a straight up permanent ban for stating that. For stating facts. For stating fucking facts. Hell, I got into it with the reasonably decently famous atheist named Amon Ra on Facebook. For basically the same shit. Fucking, he posted some shit. I talk about how Democrats be full of shit too, and he took offense to it because he talks about, no, but see, all these Republicans do all this horrible shit and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, I'm not even finna go back and forth with you. I'm just gonna not fuck with you. Because I know I can't get through to you shit lib ass goofies. Right? These are the issues that we have to deal with all the time. Why is it that I'm getting banned for stating facts and naming names? Oh, because I stated facts and named names that aren't fucking super duper beneficial for Democrats. Because these are things they don't want you to know. And so, when I name these names, Anthony Weiner, Elliot Spitzer, Mel Reynolds, Louis Conrad Jr., Rod Blagojevich, Otto Kerner Jr., George Ryan, who are these people and what did they do? Who are these people? What did they do? You can do the research yourself. All I'm going to say is that these people done fucked up and did some bullshit. But these are just a small handful of Democrats who've gotten caught up for all kinds of shit. Things that are really, really heinous. Things that, in many cases, require jail time. Prison time, because they were crimes that they committed, because these people are criminals, and they were all Democrats. And some of the shit is recent history. Anthony Weiner, that was within the past 10 years. Hell, 2016, he was a big part of the October surprise, because part of the October surprise was the Podesta emails revealing that this fucker was still at it with this crazy shit. Except this time, he outdid himself this time. For those of you who are unaware, Anthony Weiner was a New York politician. He had originally was campaigning for mayor of New York. He was an up-and-coming whippersnapper of a Democrat, very well-spoken, very charismatic. I'm talking about New York-ass New Yorkin. I'm talking about dude was like finna be one of them ones, it appeared. Like, he was very intelligent, he spoke well, kind of a handsome dude, you know what I'm saying? But he just couldn't stop fucking around on Twitter. He just couldn't. He couldn't stop sending dick pics and dick videos to bitches on Twitter. So that ended up tanking his campaign twice because he ran for mayor. That he got caught because of this whole ass fucking conservative piece of shit. I forgot his name. It really doesn't matter. He's one of them super charlatan ass dudes. But long story short, caught Anthony Weiner sending dick pics because Anthony Weiner's so fucking retarded that instead of sending a DM, he actually posted the pic on his Twitter. And dude intercepted it and put him on fucking blast. Ended up taking Anthony Weiner's fucking mayoral campaign. He went through the rigmarole, went through the fucking PR nightmare, got ridiculed. Oh, his name's Anthony Weiner. Look, he got caught showing his wiener. All that. But then, he took some time off, came back, and, tried to make a comeback. And I think he was running for comptroller this time. And then he got caught again for the same shit. But then, the Podesta emails revealed that not only did he do it again, but this time, he was doing it with a minor. So then he ended up being arrested and put in prison. Had to do 2 years or something like that. This is reality. I don't make none of this shit up. And yes, he's a super duper lib. I'm talking about, featuring on fucking Real Time with Bill Maher type shit. I'm talking about Libby Lib. I mean, literally married to Huma Abedin, who was Hillary Clinton's right-hand woman. Right? I'm talking about Libby Lib. I'm talking about Democrat. And these are the things that Democrats wish didn't happen. And then when they do happen, they try to brush it under the rug as much as possible. So when somebody like me comes around and, oh yeah, by the way, did you remember this? They don't like it at all. So that's why I find it so crazy that an atheist group banned me for stating a fact about politics. It just so happened it was a fact that was detrimental to Democrats. Now, if I would have said this and named a bunch of Republicans, they'd have fucking loved me. But it just goes to show you how, even among us supposedly superior and smart atheists, motherfuckers is bitch-ass motherfuckers. Which is why I am always willing to say that even among atheists are retarded too. I don't just say the shit that I say about theists. I have no problem criticizing bitch-ass, dumb-ass, retarded-ass atheists. One of the reasons why I haven't reached the heights that I feel like I should have reached by now is because of hoe-ass atheists who want to argue with me all day and then champion and sip for some of these theists. Motherfuckers who swear that they're such wonderful atheists, they will get on here and they will argue me to death about how what I'm doing is wrong and how I'm so evil and terrible and hateful. And I'm like, first of all, you're an atheist saying this shit to me? But I'm like, but what did I say that was so wrong, that was so immoral? Especially considering the shit that I always end up talking about. Which is, the rape culture of religion. I'm like, wait, time out. So, because I talk about facts and data that all these people don't like, that makes me a hateful person. Wait, so I'm hateful because these people who make all these bold, ridiculous claims fail miserably 100% of the time to demonstrate any of it. Every day, all the time. They get into these high positions of power, decision-making, influence, and 0%, I mean literally 0.00000.0000000.000, I mean, you can just do it to infinity. 0% of these people demonstrate a single shred of their theological sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. But I'm so full of hate because I highlight that, because I point it out, because I say, hey, show me that shit right now. Hey, demonstrate that to me right now. Provide any actual accurate data and information. Provide me with the current coordinates of your super duper thing right now. And yet, here are a bunch of atheists getting mad at me. Because I do that. And so then it really goes to show that even atheists don't know what the hell they're talking about. So that's why I'm not trying to fit in with no fucking body, with no demographic, with no particular group. I'm not trying to fit in with nobody. All I care about is the truth. If you fuck with the truth, you should fuck with me because that's all I care about. This ain't about politics. It shouldn't be. In fact, politics shouldn't even be a thing. Especially now at this point because we have facts, data, information, statistics. If we're not having discussions about those things, then what the fuck are we talking about? I'm not interested in discussions about bullshit. I have no interest in wasting my time going back and forth with somebody asserting unfalsifiable garbage. What can we do with that? What can we do with that unfalsifiable bullshit? How are we going to invent new cures and new medicines and new fucking technologies with faith? How are we going to fucking cure cancer with faith? How are we going to fucking cure cystic fibrosis with faith? How are we going to end homelessness with faith? Because you faithful fuckers have had literal millennia to figure it out, and you have done nothing but fail miserably the entire time. And despite the fact y'all got all this money, I mean, we're talking about literally a multi-trillion-dollar industry. We got multi-millionaires in this fucking profession, motherfuckers with all these mega churches, and 0% of them have been able to figure out how to solve homelessness, despite the fact that they have super-duper Jesus Christ GPT in their back pocket, supposedly. They're such miserable failures at addressing any major world problem, even to this day. Like yesterday, we talked about how the whole ass Pope bitching and moaning about AI. And I'm like, dude, don't you have Jesus eye? Don't you have the Lord eye? Shouldn't that be better than AI, fucker? Isn't that what y'all say? Don't y'all have the Lord, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit? So it's not even one. It's 3 in 1. It's the 1 in 3. It's the 3 in 1. The triune, triumvirate, triforce thing. The thing, the supposedly multi-amazing thing. The Alpha and Omega thing. The Son of Sons, the Lamb of Lambs, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, the this, the that, the this, the that, the whatever the fuck y'all be talking about. And 0.0% of you can show us any of this stuff. Why do y'all obsess over it? Why do y'all feel the need to come at me and be all up in my face and getting mad and screaming and yelling and all this type of shit? You're all in the motherfucking street. Motherfuckers on the bus, motherfuckers on the train, motherfuckers on the plane, motherfuckers in automobiles, motherfuckers getting stickers and getting fucking necklaces and keychains and earrings and all kind of chain and all kind of shit. They could demonstrate all that shit, but they can't demonstrate the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ actually existing in real life, having an actual impact in real life, in tangible, meaningful ways to actually improve people's lives all over the fucking world. Not one time. Not one single time. People will talk about the power of Christ to help this and help that and help that. No, it was people doing the work. If there were no people doing that work, would the power of Christ do shit? And thinking that if the power of Christ was so amazing, wouldn't y'all be able to accomplish a lot more than that little petty ass shit? Considering the fact that we have all these major problems right now, y'all don't seem to be even remotely like interested in even thinking about the shit, let alone actually being successful at actually helping matters in real life in tangible, meaningful fucking ways that are easily demonstrable right now to where I can't say shit. I mean, think about the fact that these sci-fi fantasy fan clubs make millions and millions and billions and billions and trillions of dollars, and yet they don't have a solution to nothing. We can't even ask them shit because the moment that we even start having conversations, these motherfuckers want to start getting mad and getting angry and getting offended and getting fucking all in their feelings because they're bitch-made lunatics, they're fucking liars, they're charlatans, they're scam artists, and all it takes is a few simple questions to demonstrate that. That's why they spend all this time trying to censor somebody like me. Even bitch-ass atheists. So, that's why I'm like, no, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. What exactly are we doing? Because, like, there are certain things that I don't care what the fuck you think about, what you believe. There are things that should just be true. And this shouldn't be that hard. It really shouldn't, especially when we're talking about reality. I get that people want to believe all this crazy ass bullshit, but we live in reality. How are we going to actually fix anything if we don't actually change anything, if we don't actually take a step back and actually reassess what the fuck we think, if we don't actually go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what is it that we actually know? What is it that we can actually demonstrate? What are the things that we know for sure are true for real? Not conjectures, not assertions, not assumptions, not beliefs, not biases, not preconceived notions. Actually verifiable things that can be verified and demonstrated right now, today, this instant. Because I don't care how many billions of theists there are in the world, zero. I mean literally zero of them can demonstrate any of that shit. All of them can talk about it all day, every fucking day. All of them can talk about their fucking sci-fi fantasy novel and how the novel says this and it says that and it says this. We get your fucking retarded ass lore. We don't care about that shit. We care about the truth. Does it actually represent the fucking truth? Does it actually comport with the reality that we live in and that we share and inhabit together every single day? Because if not, what the hell are you talking about? Why is it that I can get on here every day and we can say theism is bullshit, theism is untrue, Christianity is false, Islam is garbage, and we can get all these people in the comments all the time. Oh, the fool saith there is no Lord. How can you say there's no Lord, man? How can you say there's no God? And oh, you're just an evil sinner, and you're this and you're that, and you're so filled with hate, and you're gonna see one day you're gonna see that one day something bad is going to happen to you, and you're not gonna like it, and when you have to answer to all that dumb shit they be saying. But I'm like, every day, I'm like, but where is it right now, though? Like, miss me with all of that shit. Okay, yeah, I'm an evil, terrible sinner and all that type of shit. Okay, cool. Oh, I'm asking too many questions and I'm gonna fucking go to the terrible, naughty, unhappy place. Okay, cool. Where's the Lord, though, right now? Like, y'all say I need Jesus. That's what these people say. I need Jesus. We need Jesus. If we don't have Jesus, then we don't have nothing and all this type of shit. Where is it? Where's this Jesus stuff that y'all be talking so much about? Where exactly is it? Where can it be found? And how can we verify exactly that this thing is exactly where you say it is? Right now! What is your methodology? What is your data? What is the actual fucking data that you have on hand that demonstrates that shit that you was just talking about? You're saying that there's this guy that's a super duper guy and he has all these fucking wonderful qualities and he does this, he does that, and believe in him, does this, that, this, and that, and this, and that. Then where is he? Right now. The second. I mean, he's such an important, amazing guy, then where is he? Wouldn't it be important for us to locate this guy right now so that we can actually use this guy right now to accomplish all the things that we need right now? This second, this instant? Then why the fuck are you bitch-ass Christians so incapable of demonstrating it to me right now? Why is it that y'all are such miserable failures 100% of the time? I don't mean like a couple of days. I don't mean like 2% of the time. I don't mean 47.95837293145623117%. No, I'm talking about zero. Absolutely zero. Like, not even like an infinitesimal amount. I mean, a non-existent amount. How is that possible among billions of people? Billions of people and not a single one. Not one time. One time. It doesn't even take 32 times. Just one single time for one person once. And all of y'all are validated. Every single one of you billions of fucking people. I mean, we're talking about thousands of years that theists have been around purporting this bullshit, saying all this stuff, asserting this nonsense, and yet not a single one of them can demonstrate anything that they're talking about. And mind you, both major political parties are filled to the brim with these bitch-ass fucking sci-fi fantasy ideologies. All this fan fiction-ass bullshit. And where does it get us? Where does it get us? How does it help us? It gets us right back here, where we're falling, where we're failing miserably worse than ever before. This is the lowest that I have seen us ranked on the Global Peace Index. Doesn't help that we have all these whole ass fucking stories, all these bullshit ass stories talking about like, shit like this. Oh, Donald Trump says a U.S.-Iran peace deal could be signed soon. That is so fucking crazy considering the fact that we had a deal. We had a deal in place years before your stupid ass got in the fucking office. And you came in on your first term and abruptly sabotaged that shit for no good reason. Now we're back at war with the same country that we had to deal with so that you can negotiate a new deal. For what? For fucking what? I mean, can anybody explain to me the purpose of that? Sabotaging a deal, killing people to do a new deal. For what? Like, that's what I don't understand. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that you say, well, he wanted to get a better deal. What would make his deal a better deal? How do you determine how good of a deal this new deal would be, and what would make it such a good deal? See, the whole thing is, if we take a step back when it comes to these type of situations, why are we even at war with Iran in the first place? Oh, because they're pursuing nuclear material so that they can develop a nuclear weapon? I mean, on one hand, of course, I'm like, I get not wanting to let anybody do that. I get that. But this is coming from a country that is literally the only country in the fucking world on the face of the planet that's actually used one in real life against people. Like, it's kind of fucking crazy. If we really didn't want people to have nukes, then why do we have nukes? And why are we so... Well, I shouldn't say we, because I don't... I'm not a part of this. They didn't ask me, because I would have told you, hell no, violence ain't the answer. I mean, look at Chicago. If Chicago is so bad, then why the fuck are we beefing with Iran? They call us Chirac. Why the fuck would we want to fuck with Iraq and Iran, Iraq and Iran? Why the fuck would we want to fuck with these other countries when we got problems right here in our own country? This is what makes our country, this is what makes these politicians, these fucking leaders so crazy. We got all these domestic issues over here that need dire addressing, which these bitch-ass fucking losers fail miserably to even think about addressing because they have no ideas. They don't have their super-duper Jesus GPT app. It's not opening. It's not functioning. They disabled the latest model. They said, Fable 5, yeah, get rid of that shit. Yeah, you got to go back to Jesus 4. The Jesus 4 model. And ultimately, what solutions have they come up with? Nothing. Bullshit. Oh, but they can put their name on the side of a building, though. That's of the utmost importance. Motherfucking Supreme Court gotta focus on the fact that your stupid, retarded ass wanna put your name on the building that already had a fucking name. Even though you already got buildings with your name on it already around the fucking country. But no, that's not enough for you. You have to fucking rename the fucking Kennedy Center to your retarded shit. For what? Like, this is the type of shit that I'm talking about. And people will actually act like this shit makes sense, that this is some shit that we should be happy about, that we should be like, oh my god, this is so fucking great, this is so wonderful, this is so fucking true, and this is, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What is it all for? What does it actually help? Nothing. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Fuck politics. Fuck the political process. Fuck voting. Fuck donating to politicians, political campaigns, political organizations. They're all full of shit. Because what are they actually pushing? Bullshit. They'll say all this fucking stuff. Oh, they're pushing for freedom and they're pushing for human rights and all this dumb shit. They don't mean none of that shit. They're pushing for the rich, the banks, the corporations, and the churches. That's it. That's what they all push for. It's always under the guise of some liberal issue or whatever, but they're always liars. So that's why I say, let's take a step back. What are we pushing for? What are we actually accomplishing? What are we hoping to accomplish? What do we want? And so, we have a bunch of loonies who subscribe to a bunch of ridiculous ideologies. They're gonna say some dumb shit. Whereas I say, nah, that's not it. The actual goal should be becoming what's called a Kardashev mega civilization. Fully mastering the totality of our reality. Whatever that may be. Understanding the complete substrate. Understanding the complete nature of the cosmos. Whatever that means, however far that goes, whether it's a superverse, a multiverse, an ultraverse, a simulation, an E8 lattice, a bunch of strings, or whatever the fuck reality is. But finding the actual accurate and correct answer, not just making shit up, not just asserting and purporting a bunch of preconceived notions and a bunch of fucking sci-fi fantasy bullshit, but finding the science reality, finding the actual understanding of the laws of physics, understanding the history of the universe, the history of the earth, the history of humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also understanding the history of our country, the great things that were accomplished and the horrific atrocities as well that were committed. We can't be great if we don't know what shit looks like. And I can tell you right now, this that we're in right now, this is shit. This is shit. Fam, 134 on the Global Peace Index, and that's just one data point. That's just my favorite data point because it's so clear that we're a violent ass country that loves and promotes and rewards violence. Even though people always act like, no, violence ain't the answer. They're liars. They don't mean that shit. They love violence. They can't get enough of violence. They absolutely love violence. It allows them to sell guns. It helps out healthcare and pharmaceutical companies because the more fucking people that need help, the more money y'all can make, the more you can charge people, right? Motherfuckers get shot, they gotta go to some hospital. They gotta get some kind of medicine. They probably gonna need some kind of surgery or surgeries. And you can charge them out the fucking ass. Weapons manufacturers love it. They can sell more guns. Law enforcement loves it. It gives them more of a reason to justify their existence and also justifies their budget so that they could get more high-powered, high whatever the fuck caliber shit. Obviously, fucking government loves it because they can always use it as a crux for when they're fucking campaigning for the next bullshit election. They can talk about, oh, I'm going to fucking fight crime and we're gonna fight hard and we're gonna fucking be tough and all this shit. And what has been gained? What gets gained? Nothing. Because these people, these groups, these individuals, they don't talk about the shit that we talk about here in the No Cap Zone. You might have heard me say Kardashev Omega Civilization. You might be like, what the fuck is that? But like I said, it's the level where we understand everything completely, totally, and utterly. Where we don't have to make up shit. We don't have to appeal to our emotions. We don't have to talk about our fucking bullshit faith and how we felt in our heart and our mind and our soul that this or that or this or that is super duper the truth because we really want to believe it. No, we can show you the data. We have all the data. Matter of fact, we have all these insights that we gain from the data because we have all this information available to us. And we have these tools to help us understand the data points that we have. We have so much data, and we got the AI, and we got the supercomputers, the quantum computers that can help us even fucking understand even more and better. Help us maybe even discover new phenomena that we didn't know exist. Help us discover aspects of our reality that we didn't know existed that have a fundamental impact on everything. We're not going to solve any of this shit hoping and wishing, praying to some supernatural entity that doesn't exist. And all these sci-fi fantasy loonies can say all this crazy shit all day, every single day. But until they actually demonstrate their sci-fi fantasy loony bullshit to not be bullshit, but to actually be real, it's fucking bullshit. And you're all liars. You're all wrong. And none of you know what the hell you're talking about. And I know because I used to be one of you. That's why I say what I say. That's why I say the things that I say, and I say it the way that I say it. Because I was, awakened to the bullshit of theism, and now I see not only the harms that they commit, but just like how far-reaching their claws are in every aspect. I literally can't watch anything like on any media without somebody having to mention that they're a member of the Sci-Fi Fantasy Fan Club. I literally watched a video earlier today of Russell Westbrook was back in Oklahoma City. I guess he's promoting his Honor the Gift brand, right? And then it was a YouTube short that I watched. And literally the first thing that he says is, "Oh, by the way, I'm a man of faith, so I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank God for all this." And I'm like, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. They get so much free promotion all the time by all these fucking people all over, but what do they actually accomplish? Because all these children are getting hurt. All these people are homeless. All these people are suffering from various psychological disorders, abusing various substances, are engaging in antisocial behaviors, risky behaviors, detrimental self-harm behaviors, and these sci-fi fantasy fan clubs don't have any actual real solution to any of it at all. So we can't solve any of these problems by hoping and wishing and subscribing to ancient sci-fi fantasies. Okay, we have to actually get real with reality. We have to acknowledge the fact that there is no sci-fi fantasy bullshit anywhere. Ain't no Jesus, ain't no Allah, ain't no whatever the fuck sci-fi fantasy crazy shit you want to assert there is. There's nothing. If there was something, you can show us, and then it would be there, and we can verify it right now, and then we wouldn't have to have a debate at all about that. We could debate about, okay, now that we located it, how do we best use it? How do we best access it? Was the best contact method? Whatever the fuck that would actually allow us to interface with it and use it to the best of our ability. But y'all have nothing. Y'all have nothing, not a goddamn thing, and that's why I make sure to tell y'all every single fucking day you don't know what you're talking about, so that you can see that you are wasting your and everybody's time with your sci-fi fantasy nonsense. It is helping no one. It is helping nothing other than rapists continue to rape. And normally I would go into that, but I've already been streaming for about 2 hours. So, maybe I won't today. You know what? Maybe we'll do one. We'll do one. Because I'm sure that there is one. There's always a new story every single fucking day. Every single fucking day. There's always some new story of some loony engaging in this sickening behavior. And long story short, one would think that if these groups had all these wonderful ideas, that these horrible actions would not be occurring on their watch, in their communities, by their fucking leaders, to their people. We'll do one. We'll do one. Alright, holla back. Holla back, fam. So, as you can see, New York Post. Christian school student breaks down as second teacher learns fate for sexually abusing him. That was a weird title, but okay. A second teacher at a Georgia Christian school has been sentenced for sexually abusing the same 15-year-old boy as an older colleague had. Moments after the sobbing teen had to be led from court while hyperventilating at the lasting trauma she caused. Bonnie Elizabeth Brown, 26, was handed a 40-year sentence on Thursday with the minimum of 15 years to be spent in prison, just weeks after another teacher, Sherry Dale Malden, 61, got 12 years in prison for repeatedly having sex with the same boy. Now, think about that. These are women. These are women doing this. Okay? And I'm sure she's a super duper Christy Christian. I'm sure that she probably super duper loves the fucking Lord, which is why she works at this Christian school. But, this is the reality, man. This is the reality that we have to deal with. This is every single day. If Christianity was so true, why do these stories happen every single day? I don't understand it. These things happen every single day. And Christians have not figured out how to solve it. Now, I'm not saying that every single Christian is responsible for this shit and that it's every single Christian's job to solve these problems. But considering the fact that Christians purport that they have this super duper super intelligence thing that has these hopes, wishes, goals, likes, dislikes, qualities, all these things, and they love to purport that this thing is the super arbiter of high moral character, why would it always allow rapists to represent it all the time? In high positions of power, leadership, teaching, all that type of shit. Why would it allow rapists to infiltrate its motherfucking facilities, communities, and harm its very community? And see, and this is my thing. Like, Christianity does not police itself at all. At all. First of all, their claims are bogus. There is no omniscient anything, which is why a lot of these things are not known to Christians. Because if they had a direct claim, if they had a direct connection to this thing that supposedly knows everything, then why does it fail every time to inform these people of this stuff? Why does law enforcement always have to get involved in these stories? Why is it that the Lord never, ever gets involved? Ever. In fact, where is it? I'm still waiting for a theist to present a shred of evidence that it exists anywhere. And yet they fail 100% of the time. So, it's utterly disgusting that they allow this shit to persist in their communities. Their own kids are the ones being hurt. And that's why I would lambaste anti-abortionists for caring more about other people's aborted kids than their own live ones. When I would see anti-abortionists in my fucking comments all fucking day, talking about, oh, we should just allow abortion then? We should allow abortion, we should just kill all the kids. But it's like, it's not even about that. Y'all put so much energy into trying to stop abortion, but y'all don't even put any actual thought into it. Yet, y'all seem to be completely oblivious to the kids who exist right now. Y'all have so much fury against anti-abortionists, but y'all don't have the same fury for rapists raping your kids, the kids that you have in your church that you thought that you were so fucking safe at. Y'all don't give a fuck. When we see these kids that break down because of the traumas that they're going through for being violated by people at these churches, at these Christian institutions, right? This is a Christian school, right? So the Lord should be protecting his people in all of his facilities, right? So why would it allow these fucking predators to harm his children, who are also supposedly his children? They're harming each other. Why is nobody talking about Christian on Christian crime? Why is nobody talking about Christian on Christian crime? It happens all day, every day, all the fucking time, especially on Sundays. All these people who are getting raped in the church. Who you think is doing the raping? Who you think is getting raped? Christians. Christians are the ones getting raped. It's so bad. It's so bad that a Christian had to create this Christian website in order to try to inform Christians that, hey, we shouldn't be allowing rape in the church to happen. Look at this website. Mind you, this is a website I show all the time called notinourchurch.com. It literally says our mission is to help churches become unattractive environments for predatory abusers by putting awareness, prevention, and healing resources in one place. We do the research and share the resources. But it's like, how do you not understand that you should already have the resources? You have the Lord. You have the Lord. That means you have every resource you can possibly need. You have the Lord. So why do you have to say something like, I am a survivor of pastoral, emotional, and sexual abuse. Yes, my pastor, an elder of our church, and my boss was an abuser. As a result, my husband and I began to study pastoral abuse and to follow social media and news reports of what seemed like a growing number of other pastoral abuse tragedies worldwide. It's like, at no point in any of that did you realize, yeah, this is a scam. This is clearly a scam. Because why, if the Lord is so real and so true as these people claim, how could a story like this occur? How could you even utter a sentence like a growing number of other pastoral abuse tragedies worldwide? How is that even possible if the Lord saith and the Lord taketh and the Lord giveth and all of that retarded shit y'all say all the time? How are these stories even remotely possible? If being a Christian meant having the greatest moral character in the world, then how are these pastors engaging in rape behavior at all? I mean, think about this shit. I mean, let's go back to it. It literally says, so many churches of all denominations are impacted by abuse involving children, teens, and adults. So many pastors are not taking responsibility. So many elders are protecting the institution and not taking care of the sheep. I kept asking God, how can this happen? Why aren't churches prepared? Why aren't churches safe? We should be safe at church. I realized that our church has some safety measures for the children, but didn't have any prevention or protection for adults. No policies, no reporting procedures, no investigation procedures, no training, no plan to care for the abused, nothing. That's when God impressed on my heart to build a website, to do the research and gather information on awareness, prevention, and healing and put it in one place so churches and survivors can use it. So here it is, except they're not using it at all. And to me, this type of shit is the shit that's so sad, because this is literally the victim mentality at heart. And this is exactly the problem of Christianity and theism as a whole. That this is the type of shit that they teach, that they preach, that they use to condition people to suspend their critical thinking skills and accept the bullshit. Think about it. In Christianity, they subscribe to the idea that the Lord is omniscient. That means the Lord knows everything. The Lord is omnipotent. It is capable of anything logically reasonable, right? It can't, create a rock that's so heavy it itself can't lift it, right? It can't, do paradoxical things like that. Oh, and it's omnipresent. They always say it's everywhere. It's one of the Christians' favorite things they love to say. He's everywhere. So I would be like, okay, so that means he's over here. That's what you're saying. He's right here, everybody. Say hello to the Lord, right? Because he's apparently right there. He's everywhere, which means he would be right there, right? They do that shit. And so I'm like, fam, miss me with that type of bullshit. Where is the actual Lord? And why, if it's so real and so true as you claim, why would it not have taken care of all of this shit already, like 4,000 years ago? When Saul was fucking talking to fucking Samuel, and Samuel was saying, hey bro, like, you should like totally go to the land of Amalek and like kill every fucking body. He could have taken care of this shit back then. Motherfuckers had thousands of years to come up with something, and they got nothing. You mean to tell me that in 2026, y'all still don't know how this shit can happen? Y'all still don't know why there's no safety measures and no policies and no reporting procedures, no investigation procedures, no training, no plan to care for the abused? Why the fuck do you think that is? A multi-trillion-dollar industry. A multi-trillion-dollar industry. You mean to tell me they can't buy a landline? Why do you think that is? Every day I show y'all why. Because this is what they do. This is what the fuck they do. They want it this way. That's how they can continue committing the crimes. That's how people like you can continue getting hurt. That's why your fucking website does not help. At least not in the way you think it does. It's helping me more than it helps you. Because as long as you stay in the church, you're putting yourself and your kids at risk. Because according to your own site, and I'm about to show y'all, this is according to this website, to this site. And I show y'all this all the fucking time. Because it's my favorite data point, and I think it's an extremely, utterly important point for everybody to be made aware of. Okay. So check this out, and this is my last point before I get off of here. We're on the same site, not in our church, mind you, written by a Christian who was a victim. It literally says right here, there are studies, and this actually links to the study, which we'll click on, I guess. There are studies that demonstrate that the faith community is even more vulnerable to abuse than secular environments. The Abel and Harlow study revealed that 93% of sex offenders describe themselves as religious, and that this category of offender may be the most dangerous. Other studies have found that sexual abusers within faith communities have more victims and younger victims. And then when we click on it, it takes us to an article. Now, I haven't seen this. It says, startling statistics, child sexual abuse, and what the church can begin doing about it. Think about the fact that that's even something that they have to say. What the church can do about it. Don't they have the Lord? Don't they have the fucking Lord? Can't the Lord just like wave his arm and fucking eliminate rape totally? But whatever. Wow. Check it out. So, Abel Harlow Child Molestation Prevention Study. This study found that pedophilia molesters averaged 12 child victims and 71 acts of molestation. An earlier study by Dr. Abel found that out of 561 sexual offenders, there were over 291,000 incidents, totaling over 195,000 total victims. These are enough victims to fill 2.5 Superdomes. The same study found that only 3% of these sexual offenders have a chance of getting caught. Let me see. God damn. This study revealed that up to 38% of women were molested before turning 18 years old. This same study found that up to 16% of boys are molested before they turn 18 years old. Dr. Russell also discovered that only 5% of child sexual abuse had been reported to law enforcement. And so this is where they mention it is critical to note that this abuse is no less prevalent within the faith community. In fact, there are studies that demonstrate that the faith community is even more vulnerable to abuse than secular environments. The Abel and Harlow study revealed that 93% of sexual offenders describe themselves as religious, and that this category of offender may be the most dangerous. Other studies have found that sexual abusers within faith communities have more victims than younger victims. This disturbing truth is perhaps best illustrated by the words of a convicted child molester who told Dr. Salter, "I consider church people easy to fool. They have a trust that comes from being Christians. They tend to be better folks all around and seem to want to believe in the good that exists in people." Now, that is a fucking sad fact, right? Because this is the gift and the curse of theism. This is the gift and the curse of theism. See, people like to talk all the time about how being a theist makes them a better person. You know, I've heard so many times people say, why do you care if what somebody believes if it makes them a better person? Because this isn't being a better person. Being willfully naive does not make you a good person, even if you want to think that it is. Because to me, and I've said this countless times, negligence, recklessness, willful ignorance, faith are just as evil as having bad intentions. To me, in the modern age, in the information age, they're the same thing. Because they're just as bad, if not worse. Because, see, at least somebody who intentionally does something terrible is intending to do it. You think that not being judicious, you think that just doing things willy-nilly or just believing retarded shit for no fucking good reason is somehow a good thing. In the modern age, it's not. That's why I'm such an anti-theist. That's why I say this is not born of hate. This is born of love. When I mention stories about people like Jamie Coots, Pastor Jamie Coots, and how he lost his life for no good goddamn reason because he was retarded, because he wanted to believe some retarded ass passage in the Bible that said something about how you could get bitten by venomous snakes and somehow still survive. He took that at face value and wanted to believe it literally. So he wanted to fucking handle venomous snakes at his fucking, I think it was in Kentucky, in his Kentucky church. End up losing a finger because of it, and then ultimately end up losing his life as a result of it. And it's like it could have been easily avoided if he would have just got some fucking medical help. And that was another thing. He refused medical attention because he wanted to believe that his faith was going to fucking solve the problem. That's why faith is dangerous. That's why faith is wrong. And that's why I say it's just as bad as evil intent. It's the same shit. It's basically recklessness. You're doing something for no good reason. You're doing it because you want to do it, because you want to believe that it makes sense, even if it doesn't. And as far as I'm concerned, that is just as evil. Like, as far as I'm concerned, recklessness, you know, like, negligence, they're just as bad. Right? You leave your kids unattended for long bits of time, and something bad happens. You might not have intended for something bad to happen, but you left them unattended, which increases the chances that something bad will happen. And you should be old enough to understand these basic facts in the information age. So the fact that you're dismissing it, that you're refusing to acknowledge it, that you're just acting like this is super duper amazing, that is the shit I don't respect. And so, as far as I'm concerned, you can miss me with all that shit. I don't care if you didn't mean to. You're just as guilty as somebody who did. Because we live in a time now where that's not an excuse. You should know better than all that shit. Why would you choose to be willfully ignorant when we have data and information that is accurate, that is confirmed, that is verifiable, that is verified? You literally can verify it if you actually looked it up and learned how the shit works. But see, you choose not to do that, but you want to act like you know what the hell you're talking about anyway, yeah, you're not somebody to listen to. And the fact that you can mislead somebody else is exactly the problem, which is why I do what I do. So that's why I challenge all of these ridiculous ideologies, all these different political parties, all these fucking goofies out here that purport all this crazy shit all the time, because at the end of the day, they're all full of shit, and I don't have any problem saying that to them. I don't care if I offend them. I don't care if I make them mad. They deserve to be mad, and maybe if they got their mind right, they would realize they're full of shit, and then they'll come my way and realize, hey, you didn't know what you was talking about. I didn't say that just to fucking try to embarrass you. I don't get on here to embarrass people. I get on here to embarrass fuckers that are embarrassing themselves. See, and that's the part that these fuckers don't like to really acknowledge, that they are actually embarrassing themselves when they put themselves in these positions where literally somebody else already did all the work, right? Whoever created these sites, they did the work. They did the research. They're just not used to somebody like me actually fishing it out and putting it in your face like this. So when I do it, and the people actually are interested, and they're like, wow, this is actually crazy, like, what the fuck? Now these motherfuckers want to come out the woodworks and try to shut a nigga down. I ain't with none of that shit. Yeah, and that's ironic coming from C.S. Lewis, given that he was a super duper Christy Christian. But yeah, so at the end of the day, when we look at a lot of the shit that Trump does, a lot of it is because he's a fucking egotistical maniac. A lot of it is because he's a super duper Christy Christian and giving deference to these sci-fi fantasy ideologies. And so many of the last several presidents have been Christians. All of them have been full of shit. All of them have been in the pocket of banks and or corporations. We have all the data. Oh, and one last point, because I forgot to mention this earlier when I was talking about Trump and how he was, altering reality and history. I wanted to bring up this one last fact. Um, so check it out. This was during the Biden administration. The Disinformation Governance Board, which was an advisory board of the United States Department of Homeland Security, established and disbanded in 2022. The board's stated function was to protect national security by disseminating guidance to DHS agencies on combating misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation that threatens the security of the homeland. Specific problem areas mentioned by the DHS included false information propagated by human smugglers encouraging migrants to surge to the Mexico-United States border, as well as Russian state disinformation and election interference in the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. Following what the Associated Press called a bungled rollout and criticism from Republican lawmakers of what they saw as the board's threat to freedom of speech, the board and its working groups were paused pending review, and the board's head, Nina Jankowicz, resigned in May 2022. In August 2022, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas disbanded the board. And so, long story short, basically, people liken this to the Ministry of Truth, famous from the obviously classic novel by George Orwell, 1984, where the government is just going to tell people what the truth is, regardless of whether it's accurate or not. If they say it's the truth, then that's what it is. But now you see why I was censored on TikTok. Now you see why strange things have happened to me over the course of me being on social media. And now you can see why perhaps maybe my stream isn't the highest of quality, despite the fact that I have full bars. My fucking Substack was shut down. I'm getting banned from all these different groups for stating facts. Who would imagine that in the age of information, actual facts and data would be hard to come by because everybody is so fucking full of shit that when somebody actually comes through with actual truth, data, facts, statistics, information, they can't handle it. It's like super duper fucking offensive. It's utterly amazing. But that's why I do what I do, because if we hope to create an actual well-functioning society for ourselves, we got to get real. And that's another reason why I say a lot of the naughty words, the slurs, the R word, the T word, the F word, this word, that word, whatever word. Because I'm not about to let bitch ass losers out here try to fucking poison the well and dilute the conversation by being so focused on semantics and terms instead of the actual substance of the topics that we discuss. So the reality is, we have to get real. You gotta put your bitch ass feelings to the side. Your biases, your preconceived notions, the things that your grandmama told you, because now we're living in reality. And when we have social media, it provides us the opportunity to really discuss things in super high depth with super high amounts of nuance, facts, figures, data, information. So if you want to come up in here appealing to your bullshit emotions or appealing to whatever garbage you want to appeal to, I ain't trying to hear it. So miss me with that shit. Thank you for coming through. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We got Game 5 tonight of the NBA Finals. So if I don't see you, stay smooth. Stop being bitch-ass simps for psycho narcos and narco psychos. These psychopathic narcissists, these narcissistic psychopaths. Stand on your own too. Have some self-respect and some self-love. And stop letting these fucking narcos ruin your life and take you for everything you got, because they're going to end up taking your life. So respect yourself and love yourself. Period. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And let's bring some sense to this crazy-ass world once and for all. Shall we? Holla back at your motherfucking boy. Oh, head to the website, off9.com. Off9.com. Holla back at your boy.